me get the opportunity to make enough Neil Young tributes.
Yeah.
How about it just let me make one of those like every year or something?
Yeah.
It's momentous to me anyway. I know you're excited about returning to Neil Young related content. This is, of course, other stuff besides Neil Young. Buffalo Springfield.
Ah, yeah. So
One of rock history's only reverse supergroups where they actually went on to be in kind of more famous stuff. Because this is a couple pretty famous guys.
Famous guys being...
We know you like Neil Young.
And
then it shares in a bunch of the, what they are in folk rock.
Yes.
In your Laurel Canyon usage with the Byrds. They go alongside the Byrds.
Oh, good. Yeah. So,
yes, Buffalo Springfield, one of my favorites.
Yeah.
When you divide up into the 60s, they're like my first or second favorite. Stephen Stills from Crosby, Stills.
You're, yeah, that would be the other famous person that I was thinking of, so. But it was,
And the guy from Poco. I don't know anything about who Poco is. We forgot D's.
Yes.
This is one of those ones.
Yeah.
Where we...
It's been a bit.
This is one of those.
It is, yeah.
I don't have hardly anything in the way of Neil Young. They used to have... Ever heard a copy of, Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere? He put out a lot of stuff in 1975. That's of course a live album, but still, as time fades away.
That is a cool album.
Oh yeah, we've looked at this. That doesn't count.
Oh yeah, we've done that before.
It goes on the same. It goes in that section on this.
Yeah.
On this shelf for your country folk rock. Still solo albums. I don't even really like.
Stephen Stills. Huh.
Yeah, I just kind of have that. Manassas is totally awesome. You're tempted to do a review just of this double album.
Huh.
1972 Manassas with Chris Hillman in them. And then they did another Manassas, really great.
Yeah. Well,
oh yeah, and the football jersey.
Yeah, you get to see the
spinning, this. Are they gone? This one.
You also get to see the football jersey on this.
Oh yes, it's because one is electric and one is acoustic guitars.
Ah, okay.
With that Joe Walsh usage. Yeah. Pretty great. Stephen Stills live. Oh no, it's from '75 also. Cool. Oh, what I was talking about, Poco. That's why this is called Picking Up the Pieces. It's Jim Messina.
Cool cover art.
Jim Messina was also briefly a member of who we're talking about.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember.
That's
seeing
the
him
first album. '69 was the first Poco.
What's it called?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, that's the Poco album.
Is that the one everyone's supposed to know about?
Poco. And then a live '71 called Deliverin', with the word live highlighted in the word Deliverin'.
Ah, okay.
That's darn awesome. Oh, yes. Yes, sir. That is awesome.
Yeah, it looks like I got a lot of other Buffalo Springfield related stuff to listen to.
Yeah, it's the Buffalo Springfield and Byrds country folk rock family usage.
Yeah, I thought it was just...
That's what they all come from. Buffalo Springfield is the name of that group. That had two lead guitarists.
Right.
Another one of those two lead guitar groups. Awesome.
Right.
Richie Furay. You're supposed to call him Furay.
Furay was on bass, right?
No, Bruce was the bassist. Bassist Bruce Palmer.
Okay.
The other Canadian guy with Neil Young.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Dewey Martin is the drummer. And then you squeak Jim Messina in from Loggins and Messina. And Poco. So you get a lot, including Loggins and Messina.
Yeah, that's
you get four guys that went on to be stars.
Yeah. Yeah, they went on to do a lot. But yeah, so...
66.
Like...
Another one of those groups that was formed in early 66 and broke up in early 68. And the whole thing of 66 to 68. Cream.
It was, yeah. You had Cream, you had
13th Floor Elevators. In a brief career of 2 years, or slightly under 2 years.
It was over in a flash.
And then launch into the rest of your career of what you were doing.
CSN
for your Crosby, Stills.
Yeah.
And CSI Miami.
CSI Miami. But
L.A., Los Angeles, 1966. Well, it's fascinating. The backstory and the family tree is great stuff. They were Canadian. Neil and Bruce are Toronto-based in origin.
So
what's in that wiki? Wait, I actually have the book. This is...
Yeah, that's part of the...
This is a convenient resource for your research resource.
Yeah.
And your resource-based
I think I vaguely remember them, like...
Yeah, he was in a group called the Squires. And Bruce, he had met only a few months before when he joined the Minor Birds.
The Minor Birds?
Very early in 1966, for a couple months, he was in a rock group with Rick James that did, like, soul-flavored... That's pretty awesome. Remember that one track? It's like part soul and part folk pop rock.
Folk, yeah.
It was this great 60s feel, but had a soul and a guitars. It was awesome.
Yeah, it had a good mix of...
Rick James kind of sounding like Van Morrison in there.
A little bit, yeah.
Fascinating. Anyway, that's where they were buddies from, Neil and Bruce.
And then...
He had got him a job in that group as the bassist. He said, well, let's replace him with my other guitar buddy if we need a guitarist. Anyway, that didn't last long because of the draft. It had something to do with Rick James being military draft. That they moved to L.A. or went to L.A. to get musicians.
Different people. Yeah.
Well, it was the lore and legend of rock and roll. They were driving in a hearse on Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I remember reading about...
and what it is...
They met up with...
And when Stephen Stills was driving a van the opposite way in oncoming traffic.
Yeah,
they noticed him because he was driving a freaking hearse.
Yeah, so they turned around and then met up.
I bet that's Neil Young when he saw the hearse.
So yeah,
Because him and Richie Furay...
And then they turned around and...
were in L.A. from New York. Weren't they?
Yeah, they were...
they lived in New York and were part of something called the Ogogo Singers.
Yeah.
65-ish or something. So they knew each other also from a previous one.
So it was the meeting of these two...
Well, Neil knew Stephen from one other meeting, it said. It said sometime mid-65 they had met each other in the Toronto/New York area. Well, remember how Toronto is kind of...
Yeah, it's like...
It's kind of by New York up there.
Yeah, it's in the same region area.
That met each other a year hence.
And then...
Seeing him in the hearse and say...
Yeah, so when it was their time...
By golly, that's probably Neil Young driving that.
Yeah, when it was their time to come down, and it was about the same.
And said, let's make one of those proto-supergroups where we're a supergroup before our other solo careers.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
Both great songwriters, both lead singer of a band type guys, play lead guitar, write your own stuff.
And
then Richie would contribute a little bit of songwriting too.
Yeah, there was always...
He's got a couple tracks on all three of their albums.
There was always at least one Richie track on an album, so... But,
And what a great rhythm section.
Yes.
I love Bruce. And Dewey Martin is almost cartoonish. He's like an objectively hilarious man for...
Yeah.
He's the one that does that James Brown impression type thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And the funniness.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
One thing where they're introducing him, he calls him Buffalo Dew. For your nickname. D-E-W.
D-E-W, that's good.
Dewey.
Yeah.
Short
for Dewey.
Short for Dewey, Buffalo Dew.
Yeah, Buffalo Dew.
And then the other part of the legend, how they named him, I don't remember if it specified which guy, but they were looking at a steamroller that was parked nearby.
Yes,
and the company brand name on the steamroller was Buffalo Springfield.
See, I always thought they came up with the name by combining two...
Just a pair of towns.
Big town names.
Yeah, this is all about Americana and distinctly American roots of American music, country folk rock.
Yeah.
So you would definitely assume so. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Before reading that. Like a train, like a thing that goes from Buffalo to Springfield.
Yeah, I didn't even know that there was a brand called Buffalo Springfield.
Oh, for the Kubota or for the Caterpillar?
Yep. So you learn something new every video.
It's a fascinating saga. How can it's complicated as hell.
Yes, it is.
Yes, did I even
the first album? Yeah, let's
before we even do that, I just have to let these shimmer in the spotlights of what it is.
Yeah.
The glitz of the paparazzi and your flash bulbs.
It needs to be up on film.
Well, remember the one that's got the extended Bluebird?
The extended Bluebird, yeah. Normally that'd be about a 2 to 2.5 minute song, but
this is the 1973 best of. It's just called Buffalo Springfield.
That's a compilation album
where he's bending the stick. Oh yes, the regular best of. That's only one album. That thing's a double album. This thing, retrospective, is just one.
Okay.
Of the same person that does these collages, these gorgeous collages, from the second one. And you get a Jim Messina.
Oh, he's just chilling.
That's like wading in, and with part of the Civil War outfit with the military jacket.
Yeah, he's just kind of chilling there on the
awesome stuff. What do you get? A butterfly wing and some iris and the planet Earth, and a marble. Awesome.
Yeah, and the front's awesome too. So
that was immediately made right when they broke up, '69.
Where it was just
is what that thing is. Retrospective. Well, they were hit makers. That first record.
Yes.
That first record had some nice, from the radio.
Oh yeah.
What cliche do you know from?
It's the For What It's Worth.
The American History. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the In Every Vietnam War compilation.
Nice.
So.
Usage.
Is that again?
I didn't know I owned this. With your cool giant list of industry buddies, respected authors, artists philosophers that they liked. Don't they credit Schopenhauer for?
Yeah, I recognized a few names on there.
A large amount of what's it called? Inspiration. Jimmy's on there.
Jimmy is on.
Bert Jansch, Frank Zappa.
Yes.
Tim Hardin, Kingston Trio. Felix Pappalardi, the guy from Mountain.
And
Vanilla Fudge, Jim Messina from Loggins and Messina. Nurit. Who's Nurit?
Jack Nitch.
Ringo Starr. Are you talking about Jack Nietzsche?
Or Nietzsche, yeah.
Oh, Ken Kabloon, one of the replacement bassists.
They put him on.
That was almost going to be in the group. Yeah, he was going to be I believe he was going to be a bassist. Something about how he was in LA but had just moved right before Steven and Richie got there.
Yeah, there was.
But it was a buddy. It was a guy who was almost in the group.
Very inconvenient
as a regular member,
I think,
as opposed to a fill-in, a replacement bassist for a while. No, I don't know who Donovan Leaked is. Oh, and your Secret Monkeys.
Yeah,
your Secret Monkeys. What is it? Peter, Mickey, Mikey, Davy, Peter.
I didn't even see Eric Clapton.
Yardbirds and Eric Clapton.
So
we like Fred Neil, the Nurk Twins, Flat and Scruggs, Fidel, Piba Hinny Pala. Man, great stuff. I could just
almost the entire list you could pick out, and
this is probably the coolest one.
Yes, sir. Is that a copy?
Yeah, this is why I got so darn excited and wanted to push him up the list. Is from finally acquiring this only a couple weeks ago.
Nice.
Yeah, that is Buffalo Springfield album.
Pretty awesome.
And a steal, if I may say so myself.
So you paid.
You do not want to know how little money I spent on this.
I would.
And for how okay
based upon
displayable and playable copy that it is.
Based upon the celebratory nature of how you said that, it would probably be in the low double
and
digits.
And not have to. Oh, that's neat. There it actually says 66 Atlantic
66.
Recording Corporation. Where in the booklet it says it wasn't released till January 67. Anyway, we know it was made in 66.
Yeah, material from 66. So.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, that album is awesome.
Breakthrough. This was their bestseller. Didn't they say this got up to like number 7 on album charts?
Yeah. And as much as I hate to say it, for what it's worth, there's more than just that damn song on there. That entire album is awesome.
I don't remember if that was added on in later pressings.
Yeah, that debate. Yes.
Or am I thinking of Procol Harum or something? Was For What It's Worth on the original pressing?
I remember.
I don't think so. I think it was originally.
I remember reading that as like.
Baby, Don't Scold Me.
It was like a
that
single.
You gotta go to the freaking box set for.
Like back in those times when they would release like something.
And not put it on that next album that came out a month later.
Yeah.
Sit Down, I Think I Love You, and nowadays Clancy Can't Even Sing, the Neil Young track.
Yeah.
Are the big hits off of this.
Yes.
So you got Flying on the Ground Is Wrong, off of a different compilation from a long time ago.
Wait.
The Do It compilation. Yeah, I was surprised to see it.
I mean, as far as songs that I like on here, like, there's no bad songs. This album blew me away production-wise. Like...
This group stands out on all of their things with different guys having a credit on each one.
Yes.
For production, just absolute mastery. Who was this guy? Doc Siegel. Engineered by Doc Siegel and Tom May. Oh yeah, Green and Stone. They're managers / producers. The first one is Charles Green and Brian Stone.
Yeah, but yes. Sonically speaking...
Beautiful.
Yeah. Like, I have trouble believing it was from...
Soundscapes for days. Yeah, it's compared to other recordings of 66 and 7, it's completely different level one.
Yeah, as far as songs that I personally like on here after listening, it was...
What is for Stephen Stills?
Yeah. Everybody's Wrong, I love that track.
Yes.
And
Stephen Stills, Hot Dusty Roads, Stills... And Sit Down, I Think I Love You. So Neil only has one track on. Those 5 out of those 6 tracks are Stills.
Yeah.
And remember, they wouldn't collaborate. This is not like a Page and Plant or Lennon McCartney and Jagger and Richards. Everybody's kind of his own songwriter. For the most part, it would be a Stephen Stills song.
Yeah, you can.
Richie gets to sing a good half or more of Neil's stuff.
You can kind of...
Like Flying on the Ground Is Wrong in them.
Yeah. You're like you can kind of feel that in the album a little bit, where each song, it sounds a little different type thing.
He would sing quite a bit more on later albums.
Yeah.
Does he only have lead vocals on 2 tracks? I believe so. Anyway, you get 4 on side 2. 4 out of those 6 Neil
right
ones. So it's kind of a Stephen Stills side 1 and a Neil Young side 2.
Yeah.
Leave and Pay the Price are both beloved.
Yes.
Stills ones.
Yeah, Pay the Price especially. I love that.
Been Burned and With Both Feet on the Ground. Great stuff.
Yes, sir.
Whether or not you remember the track.
And I remember Burned. Yeah.
That counts as a Neil's, but it's another one where...
Yeah,
Richie sings it.
Those are pretty characteristic of. It says on the album, but it's pretty characteristic of Neil actually being on the piano. I remember kind of being like listening to Neil on the piano, and like I'm like, I thought he was a guitarist. I didn't know he like appreciated the other.
Oh, do they get eclectic? Yeah, I think I think Steven Stills plays keyboards too. And then Out of My Mind, another thing that sets Neil up as a darn masterful songwriter.
Yeah.
You get all the diversity of sound. This is not just a folk rock group.
Right.
You get the country influences. There's tons and tons of Americana.
Yeah, country, folk.
It's an American group that you can definitely go along and not be freaking ashamed of. Well, they can do anything. They can do, like...
Wasn't there, like...
soul goods. They can do, like... Maybe that's not till later albums, but... See, like, okay.
You can...
Everybody's wrong. Folkish. And you can call pop, you can say it's pop, folk rock. Or a rock and roll. Some of these are predominantly rock and roll. Remember Leave?
Yes.
With those cool solos and everything.
Yes, sir.
Pay the Price.
Another
awesome thing that counts as rock.
Yeah. That's...
music.
Yeah. It was a killer way to end the album.
You'll get a slow thing. One of those guys will put some kind of waltz in there.
They do a lot.
You'll hear non-rock and roll stuff like a clarinet.
Every once and again, you might hear like a single horn, and then
the depth of production.
Yeah, it's just it is. It's incredible.
It sold well. They were on TV. Weren't they on American Bandstand for?
American Bandstand
and some different smaller TV appearances.
Yeah.
In your residency of Whiskey A Go Go.
Ah, yes. They get to be labeled as the resident or house band for that well-known place in LA.
Oh, it's great. They made a name for themselves pretty quick.
And all them.
As a group. Well, of course, they're a lightning freaking awesome group. And in the concerts, they would, of course, do these jams.
Oh, they were a jam.
Extended guitar jams.
Yeah. Part of the jam trend of that time.
Both guys could do pretty good on, and they would do like a dueling thing, you know.
Yeah.
Richie Furay was counted as the front man. Since he sang the better part of Neil's songs for that first album.
Yeah, so...
Then Bruce was actually the one that was camera shy. Remember? How 90% of the time in pictures and things you see him kind of trying to turn his back to,
like slinking away or facing.
There was a TV appearance where he was way turned his back to and sitting all the way up by the cameraman almost.
Yeah.
To where he was barely in the shot.
He was like way over here on the side of the camera, on the right side.
Yeah, Bruce was a fascinating guy just on his own.
But, yeah.
Who ended up... What was the scandal on that? I think it was just a pot bust.
Yes, he was part of...
That he had to go back to Canada for a while?
They deported him.
Kind of like Zalman? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when you had the different replacement bassists that there was a bunch of. Sometimes it was Steven. Sometimes when they didn't have a replacement bassist, Steven would play that night. In one of those shows in that little tour log where they do 2 shows a day. They did that a lot. And Steven would be the bassist. Jim Fielder, who I was talking about, Ken Coblin, the original Buddy. He was one of the fill-in bassists when Bruce Palmer went back to Canada for a while. Who was the other guy? Doug Hastings or Dave Hastings?
It was Hastings for sure.
It was in some other group. I forgot what other groups, but it was a couple other LA area dudes. Love. Ken Forsey. A guy named Ken Forsey from Love. The bassist of... Yeah.
Okay.
The bassist of Arthur Lee's Love.
Oh, yeah. Arthur Lee's Love. That Love. Okay.
They had to delay the second one. That's again... This is their later in 1967 one.
It's, again, the name of the... Yeah.
It's going to showcase cool calligraphy of black and green on either side to get a shot of in your green.
Yeah.
Remember, it was going to be Stampede. Right after that, in early 67, they started working on an album that was supposed to be called Stampede.
And
they hit a snag on Bruce's deportation. And then that's also when you get your classic infighting of some of the ego clashes.
Yeah.
And Neil Young starting to be unhappy.
So,
in how that's of course going to be anything related to Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young.
Absolutely.
Issues of getting along.
Absolutely.
And him wanting to leave, or that doesn't come till summer. But yeah, early '67 they're working on an album Stampede that gets delayed.
Yeah, I could see how a deportation would.
Well, the tapes weren't trashed. This was. It's not like they pushed the erase button. This was cobbled. This is using some of the stuff from Stampede sessions that had been early in the year. It was released in November. This thing, Buffalo Springfield again, came out in November '67.
Okay, so
with your awesome,
yes, Mr. Soul
with
is
your awesome deal. Every Days I Love. That's a Stills track that can be on any
Bluebird.
What it is. Best of Stephen Stills CD boxed set.
Yeah.
Child's claim to fame when they're already talking about each other in the song lyrics. That's funny. That's Richie, though. That's a Richie track. Well, then you grab up Richie tracks anyway. He's like the George Harrison of the group. He would only have a track or two on each album.
When you get one, you celebrate.
Expecting to Fly is a Neil Young production opus. The one with the strings and everything.
Yes.
When you get the relationship with Jack Nitzsche on
keyboard or
doing the stuff.
Yeah. So
production.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What's our production difference? Is this the one where each guy basically does his own?
I think so. Yes.
Neil's are him and Jack Nitzsche, and Stills's is. Oh, well, there you go. Banjo by Charlie Chin. In Bluebird. Remember, this is the this is the shorter version.
Yeah.
Oh, nope. Yes, I was right. Yes, Ahmet Ertegun co-produces on at least one track.
There's Ahmet right there.
Produced by Stephen Stills with Ahmet Ertegun. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, that's fantastic.
He co-produces. It's the head of the label.
Yeah, and he's putting in. He's working with the artist. So yeah, that's
tell how freaking awesome of a tight group they were.
Yeah, where you think somebody that's the head of a label,
good buddies with the very top cat.
Yeah,
who otherwise wouldn't have a split second for you. That's great. Jack Nitzsche. Where was the other? Every Days. Oh no, he did help him. Production for Every Days. Production: Stephen Stills, Neil Young, and Ahmet Ertegun. Well, that's great that people can get along some of the time.
Production trio, right there.
Neil and Stephen Stills would not typically co-produce each other's stuff.
Let's see.
Oh yeah, Richie. Sad Memory, another Richie track that he does.
Yes, this
Production Richie Furay. So a lot of the time they're doing their own one. Yep.
That was one
Good Time Boy. Remember the soul thing, the James Brown that's with vocals.
Yes.
Vocals with Dewey.
Yes, sir.
Vocals with Dewey.
Yeah. Executive producer Dewey Martin. Yeah. He produced it. So.
Stills and Young again on Rock and Roll Woman. Again, good job getting along, guys. Oh, Broken Arrow dedicated to Ken Kobloon. Nice. And you get Jim already. Engineered by Jim Messina.
Awesome.
So he was not a band member at the time, but he was involved in recording process for the Again one.
Yeah, they're all really tight knit. Like it is
different session bassists. Bruce is on some. There's a Jim Fielder. There's a guy named Bobby West.
Yeah, it's a good thing that they list all the credits on those because
people were missing. Here they had to get lead guitar by a guy named Bill Lazarus. All right then.
Wonder why Bill Lazarus sounds familiar.
Keyboards with Crosby Stills. Inspiration - David Crosby. Okay, so instead of adding him into this giant list, they put him
right
for that specific song. That's good. Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Fascinating.
And
this is such a complicated group. Anyway, this is some of your basically your strongest one out of those three. They're all awesome.
Yeah. this
I am correct that all three of these albums are totally freaking cool.
Absolutely.
And gorgeous production.
Yes.
Even though it's a different dude on each one.
There's no, yeah. There's no.
Remember Jim Messina does the whole third album. So these productions are not all three of the same guy or the same.
Yeah.
Even the same guys each time.
The great thing is
they just have it be great every time.
Yeah, it's amazing every time.
Eve Babbitt's cover illustration. Do they just mean the drawing, or did she
cutouts and what in the drawing?
Did she do the collage? Album designed by Loring Udemy. Okay, well, really great. And again, I hadn't owned this for very long. I've only owned this for I don't know, 5 or 8 years. That I very belatedly.
Yeah,
I had this on tape. My first exposure to my first exposure to Buffalo Springfield was in 11th grade when I found the 73,
the compilation,
the double. Here, you want that?
Yeah,
the double.
Yes,
with the extended Bluebird on a tape on a.
So you had this on tape
on a cassette, yeah.
Okay.
Or wait, no, I take that back. It was on that Gnadigus Heavy Metal compilation. Remember? With the black background and a funny illustration of the weird-looking guy going with his sports mullet and a sports headband. Yes, remember it was a thing that had Black Sabbath, the Eagles, MC5. It was a collagenation of non-heavy metal from 1974.
What song
release.
Would be
with stuff going all the way back to 67. Yeah, that was one of the only other places that song was released.
Oh,
Bluebird.
Goodness.
The 8-minute long version of Bluebird. So then when I found it at the store, tape of that.
Yeah, we would, of course, want to buy it.
Bought that at a swap meet a few years after that.
Yeah, this is great, because it's not a tape. So
I had a Last Time Around. In 96 or 7 was the only one of theirs I actually found at a record store of real album.
Yeah.
Until years much later. Well, remember that was another one that I dumbly gave away.
Oh.
This copy of Last Time Around is my second copy of Last Time Around.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I did a darn stupid. Of giving, or of getting rid of it. Well, we got to go through some of the saga. That's the rest of your complicated saga.
Okay.
Before broaching the third.
Right. So
remember, this is flimsy.
Yes.
Looks like it was made in Europe in the 80s or something.
And and from the looks of it, it looks like you're supposed to open it up from the center, but. It's not what you do.
Well, Neil Young left the group, remember? He is famously not on Monterey Pop Festival.
Yeah, that was
footage. Because he was gone in the summer. It said he came back in August. So he was gone for, 2 or 3 months or something in the Summer of Love.
Couple of months in the Summer of Love.
To where he missed. Remember, it said they had him replaced with 2. Doug Hastings. Or was it? Who was the bassist? Jim Fielder? I don't know. Anyway, that was the thing where they famously had
2 4 guitarists?
David Crosby. That was where David Crosby was on stage.
That's the Crosby connection.
To fill in for Neil Young that was missing at the time.
Okay. So.
Oh, I thought it was funny because his lead guitar style is so simplistic and slow.
Yeah.
Why are we needing to fill in for this guy who plays guitar solos that are just like
and
why
would it involve 2 people?
Oh, yes. Was Doug Hastings the other did they have 3 lead guitarists? I don't remember if he was filling in on bass or guitar, but it was funny that we're needing to replace this not for his brilliant songwriting and lyrics. As an artist's artist and consummate man you get
the lineup of
your civilization. Guys holding guitars that are just lined up. Yeah, that's pretty great.
Awesome.
And that'll, of course, be a trope for later. Neil leaving and coming back.
Oh.
That's what he did with CSN.
So he's, take short breaks and
Crazy Horse, he would alternate between, he would get tired of being in a group and then...
You gotta do your other project.
And then come back,
Get back, and so... Yeah, that all makes sense.
Well, it's... Yeah. Your rotating thing of...
Where you're just...
Replacement bassists. What I was talking about. You got Jim Fielder. Jim Messina counts as the bassist for the last album.
Right.
In their relationship with him. Well, I thought that was great. He turned out to be a guitar man, too. It was like, by the way...
So, yeah, you see him in the production credits.
You thought I was okay as this engineer man and later go on to be the producer for your third album.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool turn.
That I should also just be the bassist of the...
That's a pretty great...
Of the group for that last little bit of their...
Course of events.
Short incarnation.
Yeah. So... It's nice that you get to hear him.
Because he went on with Poco.
And there's,
Or with Richie in Poco.
Yeah.
He was the lead guitarist of Poco.
The Poco connection. So... Yes.
That they... Well... When he was gone, he worked on... Those special-ass tracks. Expecting to Fly.
Oh!
That really super epic production piece.
Yeah. The one with the strings.
Slow, yeah.
Yeah. So
at least he was doing stuff while gone.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Classic struggle of not having your songwriting prowess recognized enough in the group.
Yeah, that's something, yeah.
Why the heck did I even join this 3-guitar supergroup?
There was a lot there was already a lot there, so for
and
him,
they played shows plenty.
There was
they never really quit. What was where is that? In the back of this?
Yeah.
What was remember this?
There was not only was there an extensive...
I was looking at this for a while.
Just period of shows, but sometimes they would play 2 per day.
They were busy. This log...
There's a lot of shows there.
This concert log... Researched by Pete Long with thanks to Stu Rosenberg. Well, good. Oh, it's fascinating. If you like these other groups that were active at the time in the LA area and NAMM and looking at these venues, the Ark, the boat, the houseboat thing in Sausalito, Moby Grape Big Brother, Lee Michaels.
Yeah,
supported by the Poor. Joined on stage by Peter Tork. Remember? The monkey guy with the same hair and sideburns.
The monkey guy.
That was roommates. He was buddies with Stephen Stills that were roommates.
Yeah, this is a tightly knit family.
He auditioned for.
So.
Between being in the O-Go-Go Singers and in LA, Stephen Stills, whoever heard about it first, from his roommate or whatever.
Yeah,
that failed the audition, I believe just because of his teeth. Just because he had crooked teeth.
They didn't want to...
But Peter Tork, and who had that freaking hair and sideburns combo first? Who ripped it off from who? They looked the same.
They do.
Peter Tork, the guy from the Monkees.
Yeah.
We're purposely showing a thing of breaking up.
Oh, okay.
With your squares.
Yeah.
This isn't the gatefold version. This is like I say, this is that's what it is. Gorgeous tracks, though. Again, you can't say they had a stinker. You can't say, they went out in such a weak way.
Yeah, no.
Jim Messina produced, 1968.
Yeah, this album is...
Atco again.
Just as good as the other two.
On the Way Home was the thing of Neil Young about leaving the group.
Yep.
Again, Richie sings. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
We're going through all of these problems with people being recognized enough for
there's trauma.
For their...
There's
what's it called? Recognition.
Yeah, there's egos and trauma, and yet they still find the gumption to
let the other guy sing lead vocals on your song.
Yeah.
Now that they did, that's a rare collaboration. It's So Hard to Wait is by Richie and Neil.
Nice.
Awesome. Pretty Girl Why, another gorgeous production number. And song. All of these just sound so nice.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they...
Not just production quality, but the appeal, the playability of the songs.
Yeah, it's
The riffs and things are so catchy. The vocals, they had great harmonies. It's another thing this group was known for.
Fantastic harmonies.
Beautiful vocal harmonies.
Especially on this album.
I would say right up there with people like the Beatles and the Beach Boys for sheer niceness of, yeah. It's one of those things where you hear it and you're like, oh, gosh, guys, good nice harmonies.
Stuff that's like nice to be like, yeah. Really
4 Days Gone, the thing about being a bum
and
getting a ride from an extremely kind trucker that lets him have some free soup. Oh, and Jim Messina writes one.
Yes.
It's called Carefree Country Day. He gets to sing it. Oh, yes, that's right. That's the Get Up in the Morning with the Cock-a-Doodle-Doo.
Yeah.
We listened to it.
Yeah.
Carefree Country Day.
Oh, definitely.
Round that Side Out with Special Care.
Special Care
is one of my favorites.
That belongs
on, again, that belongs on any Best of Stephen Stills retrospective.
Yeah. Amazing.
Beautiful song.
Yeah. And side B is no slouch either. Let's see. The questions track, I remember.
Oh, that's another one of the very solid Stephen Stills.
Yeah. And,
In the Hour, who is Mickey Callan? In the Hour, or The Hour of Not Quite Rain.
Mickey?
They called it In the Hour. Nope, it's just called The Hour. Yeah, this is Richie Furay and Mickey Callan.
Yeah.
Does that mean Richie wrote the lyrics or the vocals? Anyway, somebody named Mickey Callan.
And, yeah.
That's another slow production masterpiece. It's kind of like that other one. Expecting to Fly. The I Am a Child. Another awesome one.
Great Neil Young song.
In your call and response, or I mean your response to the diss track.
Yes.
That was Richie's from the last record. Child's Claim to Fame.
And then...
So now he's saying, yes, you want to call me a child, I'll go ahead and admit I am a child.
Yeah.
Merry-Go-Round, another. You grab those Richie tracks up, dude.
Yeah.
He does not do that many, and that is a great thing.
Yeah.
That is another great song.
Yeah. Uno Mundo. The salsa.
Yes, it shows your extreme cases of eclecticism and diversity in sounds.
Experimentation and so forth. Yeah,
that's in a Latino. What's that called? Is it salsa or is it not the right?
I think it would technically
flamenco. I don't know the names of, but it's.
It has a very Latin feel to it.
When he grew up on the bases, he spent time in Puerto Rico.
That would explain that.
Or something? Well, I don't know what it was. I'm just making a guess. But young Stephen Stills was a military's kid where they move all around on different bases.
Ah.
And it said something about how he was exposed culturally to stuff that would have a Latino feel to it.
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
That does kind of make sense. So.
And then the last Buffalo Springfield song is Poco. Yeah, how about that? Kind Woman. Kind Woman. That's the last Richie track.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's on that live album.
Oh, okay.
It's on Poco Deliverin'.
It's one of those things where well,
of course he's allowed to sing it. It's his song.
Yeah. Yeah. There's you're allowed to pick from a rich.
Did they get kept? What was the label usage? Neil went to Warner Reprise, of course.
Yeah.
And those boys went to Capitol.
I think I saw a Capitol
Poco
logo on here.
Poco, I forgot where they went. Capitol Records. And then I believe Stephen Stills and Crosby Stills stayed on Atlantic.
What does that say? LME? It's in a weird font. May have to pick another album to read off of. But
Grand Junction. Oh, is he related to? I don't think they're related at all, but boy, that guy sure looks like Neil Young. Rusty Young?
Oh, they just happen to share a last name?
Doesn't he look very much like?
That does look kind of like Neil Young. Yeah.
Looks exactly
now it looks exactly like Neil Young.
I wondered about that. I don't believe so.
Very coincidental.
Goodman.
So, they share a last name and they look alike.
The bass is from the Eagles. Oh, nope, Epic. Epic Records.
Epic, okay. Why did that look like LMG on the bottom there?
Awesome.
But yeah,
well, what would you... This is the part where I have to see if you agree.
Yes. These are all...
What would you say to... When I consider this group one of the absolute pinnacle 60s American rock bands.
Oh, I would totally agree. Like, if not...
It would be literally the stuff of legend.
Yeah, literally. And
would go on to have a couple guys in there that would...
Does it count?
Rule the music world for a good decade or something and still be legendary all that whole time. Oh. It's one of those second tier after the Doors, LA's group things. What we were talking about with in that Spirit thing.
But yeah,
with Love and Buffalo Springfield and the Seeds. And
as far as crafting
the folk rock family, Birds, Buffalo Springfield, CSN, and Poco.
There was nothing that I heard.
Yeah,
that
all of those records are solid enough. Yeah.
Yeah. So anytime we put on a Buffalo Springfield album, I want to listen to the entire thing. So
yeah, it begs the artistic factor in there begs going through quite a bit of it.
Yeah. So
diverse. Do they ever barely use the same guitar texture twice?
No.
In all those albums and all those different guys producing it, they always did a great job finding new tones for the lead guitar. There's always some kind of super unique, nifty thing going on. Put a great tremolo on this.
With basically almost,
and guys writing in all kinds of crazy styles.
Yeah. It never gets old.
Just on his own, Neil Young is like king. Neil Young is a consummate songwriter.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Then you got Stephen Stills, who is also extremely capable.
Mm-hmm.
And writes awesome lyrics. Did you notice some of their rhyming genius?
Yes.
Some of the stuff they put in there is
where one person would come up, would say one thing, and then they...
I've got the rhymes for you. They're both clever lyricists.
Yeah, they're both fantastic.
And both make rock and stuff. Well, it's not even the only... It's not even...
it's not
the only other one.
Yeah.
That's not even it. You still have the guy from Poco.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not just Stills.
And then technically you get Loggins and Messina's... The Messina guy from Loggins and Messina.
It's almost equal distribution of talent and songwriting.
No, it's equal between Stills and Young, but... You just get a ton in there. You get like 12 more added bonuses. Look at Bruce. Can't believe he even agreed to do that.
Yeah.
Bruce didn't go on to be in other stuff. This is the only time. Remember how great they were. Remember how Dewey and Bruce are both great and an awesome rhythm section.
Yeah.
Maybe I say it too much, but this group is tight. Remember some of those Bruce bass lines?
Yes.
He was one of the most exciting and dynamic bassists that you hear.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not just him playing.
One of those tracks where you could barely even hear the bass at all.
Yeah, but it's not just him playing.
You hear snappy stuff in there.
Yeah.
He's great.
For what it's worth.
Avalon Ballroom.
Play with...
November 12th, Gay 90s, San Francisco with Moby Grape. November 11th through 13th. Oh, did they switch? Or play one that day and come back? Wow.
See.
Or does it just mean 11th and? It says 11th-13th. Opening with Country Joe and the Fish for the Brazilian guitarist Bolacete. Awesome. Oh, and our TV appearance, Dance Time TV, whatever show that was.
Dance Time, yeah.
Whiskey, what was the beginning of our whiskey residency? May 2nd.
60.
Bunch of gigs.
Yeah.
Open for the Birds. Johnny Rivers.
Nice.
Love. The Doors.
The Doors.
San Diego. Oh, yeah. Opening for the Rolling Stones.
What?
With Trade Winds, McCoys, and the Standells. The Standells kick ass. July 25th, Hollywood Bowl. One of four opening acts for the Stones.
Cool. Yes.
Chad and Jeremy. The Turtles. Did you know there was a 60s group called The Knack? Supported by October 14th, Redondo Beach, California at The Third Eye.
There's a 60s group called The Knack?
Venue.
Oh my god.
Supported by The Knack and The New Generation.
Huh.
And not just the name of one group. It's two groups. The Knack and...
Yeah. the new generation.
Oh, cool. Sons of Adam. And Jim Fielder already filled in a couple times for Bruce. Yeah, Fillmore, Avalon. Oh my gosh, this is exquisite.
Yeah.
The Ark. That is of legend. That place was weird. They serve breakfast. You pay to rehearse?
Wait.
But it sometimes turns into a great gig because it's also a diner? I didn't understand what it was, but it was a boathouse in Sausalito, California.
So depending on how
they would sometimes what construes as concerts.
Depending on how
it was like this artists co-op where you can go to rehearse.
Depending on how good the rehearsal and the gig was, would determine whether you had to pay for breakfast or whatnot.
And charge people when somebody gets going. If you're in there already and you can hear somebody really get hot, and it turns into a concert, I don't quite understand. Was it the innocent days of 1966, even before the Summer of Love?
The simpler times?
The Poor, whoever the Poor is. Daily Flash, I like them. I've never heard of Congress of Wonders. Dean Martin's house.
They played at Dean.
What? What the heck is that? That's awesome. Steve McQueen's house, Brentwood, California, with Johnny Rivers.
With playing at Dean Martin's house, you probably got to give the kids something to listen to. If you're,
it would be whoever is hot, whoever's selling a lot of records. This was December '66, so yeah, they were already known for "Sit Down, I Think I Love You." Nowadays, Clancy can't even sing.
Yeah,
Dean Martin, back to Whiskey a Go Go, where the action is. TV show American Bandstand, December 28th, with Otis Redding nearby. Oh, guest appearance from Otis Redding in this. New Year's Eve, January 9th in New York City.
Huh.
Mitch Ryder. Guest appearances from Otis Redding and Mitch Ryder. He sang on stage with him? That's pretty great.
Yeah, they interfaced with a lot of... toured with a lot of...
And then that says, these shows, New Year's Eve through January 9th at Ondines in New York. These shows ended when Bruce Palmer was arrested and later deported.
Ah.
Fine.
So...
More TV appearances. Scott Spady, Ken Kabloon. Oh yeah, that's when he was first filling in for Bruce. Lubbock, Texas. Smothers Brothers show. How come that didn't come up pretty high on a YouTube show?
Yeah, seriously.
With a guy named Miles Thomas on bass.
Everybody loved the Smothers Brothers.
Okay, so February '67, that's when Jim Fielder joins. Benefit with Peter, Paul, Mary, the Birds, and the Doors. Doug Dillard.
Yeah, there's a lot.
KTLA TV Los Angeles also featured Fifth Dimension, Stevie Wonder, and the Beatles.
On the same show?
That means in LA for that TV appearance, or just when they play like footage of that group in a promo video?
Yeah. How does that work? Surely they all played at the same time.
Rudy Valley, Ryan O'Neal, Herman's Hermits, Swingin' Six, Abigail Van Buren, Brian Hyland, and the Jokers. Peter Wheat and the Breadmen. Oh, yes, Quicksilver. Way to go, guys.
Quicksilver. Yes.
Bonnewell Music Machine. The Seeds. Oh, yes, in later 67, 68, they did a bunch of gigs.
That basically acts as like an encyclopedia
with the Seeds. Oh, I love this.
L.A.
This is every known freaking gig and when, where, and who the hell he was even with.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Gorgeous.
So.
Oh yeah, and the Beach Boys.
They even
spent a couple. What is that? Late '68, and then again a little bit in the very beginning of late '67, and then the very beginning. Yeah, November '67.
They even played with the Beach Boys.
And a little bit in the beginning of '68.
So,
Youngbloods, H.P. Lovecraft, Gary Puckett and the Union Gap, Clear Light, Fire Sign Theater, Steppenwolf.
Ooh, Clear Light.
Yes, what we forgot to mention in some of your factoids, and you're pushing the wiki button.
The tour with the...
Remember how John Kay was Canadian?
Yeah. So there's the John Kay connection.
Bruce before '65. Sparrow is a very old group. They were called Jack London and the Sparrows, and then Jack London and the Sparrow.
Yeah.
Going way the hell back to like '63 or maybe '62.
Right.
Well, yeah. Bruce was the bassist of that group.
So there's your Sparrow connection.
Yeah, that's neat that he was in Sparrow. Maybe he knew John Kay. They were Canadian.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Toronto.
Yeah.
It's that group. It's Jack London and the Sparrow.
Yeah. Yeah, surely they would know each other.
Great family tree.
Absolutely boss. Absolutely boss. Absolutely boss. Absolutely boss.